What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader, also known as John, coming back to you with a video. I thought today we would take a look at some of the Mexican bootleg bib Fortunas that are in my collection, as well as 3 mint on cards that I have. I think I've shown all of these to you before when I first unboxed them, but I just thought we'd just do a quick zoom in on some of these, so you can kind of take a look at 4 of the different variations I have of the Mexican bootleg bib Fortuna, and then I'll go to the licensed mint on cards after that, but I'll try to be quick about these. The mold for the bib Fortuna, to my knowledge, again, I'm not an expert, but to my knowledge, the mold used for the Mexican bootleg bib Fortuna is the same from the 1980s into the early 1990s, and we have 4 examples for you here. This one is the first one I picked up a long time ago, and was unboxed quite a long time ago, but all of them have some kind of variation of like a blue color that they use for the plastic, and then they come either painted or unpainted. This one is painted with the typical silver, and the paint is obviously worn off quite a bit, but it gives you an idea. This one has painted hands. The next one I'll show you in a second does not have the hands painted, but pretty cool. You know, it's just a wacky late 80s, early 90s bootleg. But these bib Fortunas, they're getting harder to find. It, you know, I set out to find one maybe a year or 2 ago, and I could not find one anywhere. I mean, I spent months and months and months, and everyone's like, just be patient, just be patient. You know, they're not that hard to find. And I'm within like about a 3-month period, I found 4 of them. So these vary they range in price anywhere from, I'd say, about $50 all the way to much more, depending on if you get an early mold. Now, the early 1980s version of this bootleg came with a staff, and it was metal, believe it or not. I've only seen one example of that, owned by a gentleman on the Facebook group who has like just the best bootleg collection of Mexican bootlegs you've ever seen in your life. But he has shown that before, and it's basically, I can't tell. I personally can't tell the difference between this one, the mold of the figure, versus his. I'm sure others can, but I can't tell the difference. But what was cool about it was that it did have the staff, and it is a metal staff, so that's pretty cool. So that's that one. The next one is very similar. This one actually has the original cape, which is cool, and you can see here his hands are unpainted, but a very interesting version. But you know, a friend of mine had this with the cape, and I paid quite a bit more for it just so I could get one with the cape. But a little bit different. Still has the black eyes, still has all the silver paint, but he's got unpainted hands in the original cape. So it's very, very light. It feels like a trash bag almost, which most of them do from this era. And then the next 2 are pretty interesting. This one is a little bit later. I think this one's labeled as a 1990s, which to my knowledge is correct. The 1990s had this darker blue with the gray paint instead of silver. And you can see here where they've painted his wrist gauntlets, but not his hands. The other ones had his hands and his wrist gauntlets painted silver or unpainted, but no cape for this one, but obviously it's in pretty rough condition. It only came back with a 50, but I thought, given the color difference, I thought it was cool to include that one. And then the last one is an unpainted one, a very, very cool one. I paid the most for this one just because it doesn't have any paint applications, and it came back with an 85 plus. I bought this from a gentleman down in Mexico who has an extensive bootleg collection. But very cool, and it's nice to have a pristine example with no paint on it. So those are the Mexican bootlegs that I have in my collection. And then I wanted to show you guys the 3 mint on cards that I have for bib Fortuna so far. I'd love to get the Takara sticker one, but I have not gotten one yet. This one I've already shown you. This one is a yellowed bubble, but it's got the 65A back, and I got this for a pretty good deal. Back in the day, straight 85s, 85 with a yellowed bubble. But this, I believe, was his original card, debut card, so to speak, on the U.S. card. So 65 back A, and the back is the standard, you know, Kenner back with the blacked out Ewoks. The 65B does not have the blacked out Ewoks. and I believe the C has the Emperor offer, if I remember right. But so that's the one that was the original one in my collection. The next one you guys saw during my last unboxing. This one is the Canadian Cardback. This one is a 77 back A. It does have the price sticker up there. I paid quite a bit more for this than the $1.19 that's shown up there, but it's what's nice about this one, as several of you have pointed out, that it's it's a clear bubble, but really nice. But I still, given where these go for, it was a very fair price that I paid for it. And this one came back with the 80 plus, as you guys have already seen. 80, 85, 85, 80 plus. And then here's the back of the card again for those that missed that video. It's on my channel. It's got the French writing up here for the French Canadian card, but very similar. But 77 back. What's interesting is that I don't have many CAS mint on card figures, but you can see how much thicker the case is. And it might, I don't know. I think that the cards themselves are pretty much similar, but the case is quite a bit thicker for the CAS offering. So that's pretty cool. So that's two, and then I got this one. This one came in last week. I just haven't had a chance to show it yet, but I did get from a friend of mine on Facebook a tri-logo, and I finally got this tri-logo. This is one I've been wanting for a while. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close. And this is the tri-logo version of Bib. I don't have a ton of tri-logos. If you want to see a lot of tri-logos, go to Blacked Out Ewoks on YouTube. He's got just an amazing collection of tri-logos. But this one is one that has been on my want list for a long time. It finally came up, and it had like 14 watchers on eBay. So I quickly nabbed it. I've become friends with the seller, and he's got a bunch of other beautiful ones that, when and if money becomes available, I might have to snatch those from him without paying eBay fees. But this is an absolutely gorgeous one, and one that I've been wanting for a while. And this is UKG graded, so our friends across the pond. This is the tri-logo 79 back, and it came back with a card of 85, a bubble of 80, and a figure of 90. And you're like, well, why did that get an 80 overall score if you got an 85, an 80, and a 90? Well, as I've talked about in other videos, if one of the subgrades is significant enough, it will affect the overall grade. And I'm trying to get it to properly show, but you can see the bad ding there. It's not terrible, but the ding there on the front of the card, or excuse me, on the front of the blister or bubble, is what brought this thing overall down to, there you go, in the light you can kind of really see it there. But that's what brought the overall grade down to an 80, and it's correct. I mean, that's how I would score it too. But one that it's been on my goal list for a long time, and I finally did manage to grab it. It's just a beautiful card. I'll show you the back real quick. I'm sorry I didn't do that before, but typical 79 back with the tri-logos up top. And then the 79 figures with the two blacked out Ewoks below there. And anyway, in terms of tri-logos, I don't have, like I said, I don't have a massive collection, but the only one I really would like to have is a tri-logo Bosk, but they are just really tough to find in good condition. There's been a few that have popped up over the last few months, but they're just beat up too much for me. So I'm going to try and be patient, and hopefully I'll find one. But anyway, so those are my three mint on card Bib Fortunas, and then I just wanted to quickly show, while I was showing you these, I wanted to show you the Mexican bootlegs that I have in my collection. Now, if you're looking for a video on the loose graded variants, I do have that on my channel. It's a very early video, but I showed you, I do have, let's see, I've got 5 loose graded Bib Fortunas, and typically the variations are Taiwan, Hong Kong, no country of origin, and then they were in terms of variants for the figures, they relate to the cape. The cape can have either a beige lining or a green lining, and then the staff can be either dark or light staff. There's also a Lily Letty version with a greenish kind of cape, as well as a Lily Letty with the burgundy cape, which is extremely expensive. So neither one of those are in my collection, but maybe one day when I win the lottery, I'll win that. I'll get that Bib Fortuna with the burgundy. I never thought I'd have the squid head with the burgundy cape. So I thought that would be something that would be unattainable for me, but it does happen if I'm patient and save up some money. But anyway, those are the 3 bibs. I just thought you guys would like to take a look at them. And thanks for watching. I'll be back soon, hopefully. I've got a lot of stuff that's in process with the graders. And I did pick up a really nice Tri-Logo yesterday. It won't be here for about another 10 days or so. So we'll unbox that when it gets here. Hope everyone is doing well, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again.